What's up, Fit Body Bootcamp? I'm Diana Coulian, the recipe hacker, and I'm super excited today because my friend Tom Hough
That's me.
is here all the way from Richardson, Texas. Tom and his wife Katie have a Fit Body Bootcamp out there, and they have some awesome recipes that they've made for their one-year-old little boy that we are going to share with you today.
Absolutely. We're really excited to share these with you today. I want to give a shout out first and foremost to my awesome wife, Miss Katie, who actually came up with the muffins that we're going to make today. And this other treat we're going to make for today is one of our absolute favorite things to make. We make it almost every single night. So we're really excited to share these with you today.
So this is, guys, this is such a cute recipe. And you know, my kids are older. My kids are 14 and 12 now. But I used to do stuff like this when they were little. Because now, how old is Bennett?
He just turned one.
He's the cutest little baby ever, which I wish we had a big picture or just him here.
I'll post some pictures in the comments
please
later.
do, because everyone's going to go crazy.
Yes.
But you know, they're starting to eat solid foods. And as a parent, your number one thing is, how do I get them to love healthy food? And how do we put good nutrition into the breakfast and the snacks that they're eating? And so by coming up with this recipe, this is ingenious. And I love how they call it Incredible Hulk, because we were just saying how, you know, in our generation, it was like Popeye. It's like, how do you get kids to want to be strong and eat spinach? Well, our kids' generation, it's a little bit more like the Incredible Hulk, you know. But guys, these muffins, first of all, they taste good.
Taste great.
Because that's the number one thing, guys. If your kids aren't going to eat it, or even you can make this for yourself. It doesn't have to be for kids. But if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to eat it. But guys, when we get into it, you're going to see all of the healthy ingredients, starting with fresh spinach. Like, how many of you can get your kids to eat fresh spinach for breakfast or for any meal, let alone a one-year-old?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So it makes it really easy and convenient. And then the nice part we really like about these is they hold up really well. So even if you make a whole batch, you can put them in the fridge. We've even put them in the freezer as well. Really easy to pull out. They break apart really nicely. You can pack them in a lunch. You can, you know, they're really versatile throughout the week. Yeah.
What's cool, guys, is we're actually putting protein into these muffins. We're putting true lean protein. So not only are we getting vegetables in there, we're getting some healthy fats with some chia seeds, some fiber. We're putting banana in there. Because, guys, fruits and vegetables are really what we need to fill our children's diet with. But then we're putting protein on top of that. And like Tom says, it sticks together, being gluten-free and everything, which if any of you guys have experimented with gluten-free baking or with just putting vegetables and fruits into baked goods, it doesn't always turn out.
Correct.
Did you guys have any like...
We did. So that's why we actually have the almond flour in there.
Okay, like a binder.
Correct, because if we just stick with one, sometimes it's not as, you know, what you're used to as far as baked goods. So there's a nice mix in there. And as far as the ingredients, you know, the way I like to look at our food, and we bring this up a lot at boot camp when we talk about even drinking coffee, right? Sometimes folks, when we run our challenges, folks say, well, what about coffee? I love coffee. But my question is usually, well, do you love coffee or do you love cream and sugar?
Ooh.
And if you were to pour your coffee, put your cream into a saucer, and put your sugar into a thing, would you eat all three of those separately? And people usually say, and you might be doing this right now, ooh, sounds gross, but that's what you're drinking, right?
Right.
So when I look at our recipes, if we look at the food over here, this is a perfectly balanced breakfast.
It is.
Protein, you have your eggs, you have some healthy fats in there, and then you have your carbohydrates from your oatmeal, and then just as an added bonus is going to be your veggies. So really a fully packed meal in a convenient little package and easy to make. That
the kids will actually eat, guys.
Absolutely.
So it's super cool. So before we dive into telling you the ingredients and making the recipe, I have a couple of giveaways.
Ooh!
Honestly, this is my highlight of my entire week, is when I get to like give you guys stuff away, because I'm so proud of the progress that you're all making. And it is week 4. End of week 4. For all of you out there doing the New Year, New You challenge. So we get the numbers here at HQ
we sure do.
week.
Yes.
And so at the end of last week, so almost a week ago, the total weight loss was over 67,000 pounds.
Yes.
With like about 14,000 participants. So that's incredible.
It's incredible, and it's been so nice as a Fit Body owner being part of these global challenges that you guys are all a part of, because now when you submit your results and we're able to get these big numbers, it just feels and it is so much bigger, right? We can make such a big impact. And of course, us as the owners and your coaches at your locations have a hand in it, but you're doing the work.
You're doing the
right?
work.
We're giving you the tools, but you are executing and doing the work and filling out your progress reports and coming in for your workouts. And then when we see those really big numbers, I'm interested to actually look at, okay, at the end, what can we say? How many elephants did we lose? How many, right? How many
Priuses did
right,
we lose,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, it'll be quite a few by the time we're wrapped up. And just keep on, we're nearing the halfway point, but it's not halfway to your journey, team. No. This is a lifetime that we're going to get. Your fitness will never end. It will never stop. You'll always have more goals. So the goal of these challenges is to really set those healthy habits, learning how to cook, learning how to meal prep, so that it can last you forever.
And
right?
that
so that's
actually, the theme of the week on the page is structure equals freedom.
100%.
And that's such a good thing for people to think about, like, hey, we're in this challenge period, you're going hardcore, but really we're looking to put in structure and habits to give you the freedom long term. We always say the infinite game of fitness, but you have to create the structure in your diet and in your exercise routine so that you can just do it forever, guys.
Yeah, and the first time I heard that saying, I didn't really quite get it at first. Structure equals freedom, but it sounds like
Seems like an oxymoron, kind
correct.
of, right?
So structure, what happens there, and not only in your health and your fitness, but in the decisions that you make and where you go out to eat, the people that you surround yourself with. If you're structured in what you do, then it frees you up to not have to make so many decisions because you're steadfast in what you're doing. Like, no, I'm going to eat this for breakfast. So now you don't have to worry about stopping at a fast food place on the way to work or stopping at Starbucks or what are you going to do? The freedom, it opens up your mind to be able to focus on more important things in life than the silly little mundane decisions that we have to make each day because you're structured and you don't break for those. And what you're doing on the backside of that, is, of course, is building that willpower and subconsciously building that up, that you are the type of person who finishes what they start. You are the type of that healthy type of person, that vision that we all have for ourselves. That's how you really stack those wins. It doesn't happen overnight, but that's how we stack those wins. And you only have to be disciplined really for a short amount of time.
Right? Like 30 days?
30 days.
Yeah, and then habit.
Then it becomes habit, right? So it's a beautiful thing. So structure absolutely equals that freedom in the long run.
I like to think of it almost like when you go to the bowling alley. Bennett's probably too little for bowling yet.
Yeah.
But when we go, my daughter likes to get the bumpers. And I kind of think of like the structure that we put in place with our diet and our exercise. It's almost like we're giving ourselves bumpers. And we have less of a possibility of falling off track.
Yeah, no one wants to go in the gutter.
Nobody wants to go in the gutter. That's frustrating.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, guys, so we are going to give away 2 things. I am super excited about this. So the first one is for Kathleen Renderman.
Woohoo, Kathleen,
Good
congratulations.
job. Kathleen is from Mesa, Arizona. And she used the hashtag #IamFitBody, which it's so awesome when people use our hashtag and they share and they encourage and they really motivate everybody else. Like, I get so pumped up when I see all of your posts and I see that hashtag #IamFitBody. Like, it reminds me, like, oh, I'm FitBody too. Like, let's do this.
It's such a strong statement. And when we can start saying those things out loud, you will become that person. And while we're on that note, as far as I Am FitBody, our goal here is to inspire fitness and change lives every day and reach as many people as we can. So as you're watching this, if you could, somewhere on your screen, there should be a little button that says Watch Party or Share. Go ahead and click that right now. Share it on your regular Facebook page so everybody can get into this group. And for all of our FitBody peeps out there, make sure you put that into your local FitBody Bootcamp group as well, so we can get more eyeballs on this and talk about health and fitness.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And you know what? You're talking about share it with the people in your circle. So each and every one of you that's in the challenge or you're a member at FitBody Bootcamp, we get the numbers of like 67,000 pounds from everyone that told us. But what I always think about is every single one of you has a ripple effect in all of the people around you, your family, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, your friends, people that you don't know are watching you.
Absolutely.
They're seeing these healthy habits. So it's like that ripple effect, or sharing this video on your page. It has this ripple effect where, guys, we really are helping so many people and just changing lives.
Love it. We love it. You can't tell, we kind of love what we do.
So. We're so excited.
Yes.
Okay, guys, so Kathleen, I am happy to give you this.
Woo.
Now, have you ever seen one of these?
I have seen one of them.
Okay.
I have used them, and they are incredible.
Do you have one with the FitBody logo?
I do not.
Ty, can you send one of these to my friend Tom, too?
I will handle that. Actually, Peg, I'm actually in the challenge. Just so 100% transparency. I'm actually doing the 8-week challenge as well. We always do them along with our members. I actually brought food out here to California with me. Had to put in a little bit,
like
so now I'll
this,
have something like this to bring it out. Yeah.
So guys, this is so cool. This is called 6-Pack Fitness, but you know, when you're meal prepping and you're taking your food with you, you do need a whole bunch of little cool containers like this,
Beautiful.
which go in the dishwasher, and the cool packs.
Yes.
Right?
So it keeps it cool.
Keeps it cool and fresh.
It's set up just for that. We've all had that when maybe you have like an old grocery tote bag and you're trying to take some food. It doesn't stay quite cold.
Exactly.
So that's exactly what that's designed for. So congratulations, Kathleen, Fit Body Forever member in Arizona.
In Mesa, Arizona. We're also, Kathleen, we're going to send you this, which this is my, well, I always go back and forth, like, which is my favorite flavor? What is my favorite? But I love cooking with this one. This is the frosted vanilla cake, the whey protein. I love this so much. We're actually using it in both of our recipes today.
Yep.
So we're going to send you one of these because why not?
Because why not? So she can make the recipes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hopefully you've tried it before, but if you haven't, if this is your first time, you're going to love it.
Yes.
And then because we're crazy, let's give away the same items to one more person.
And that person would be coming off of Instagram with the I Am Fit Body hashtag, Miss Lindsay Ackridge, who's crushing her meal prepping, hitting double days at Hillcrest FBBC in Alabama. So congratulations, Lindsay. We'll send that off to you.
Lindsay, if you are, it sounds like you're into meal prepping, you're going to love this 6-Pack Fitness Fit Body branded bag.
Perfect.
Put all of those prepped meals in there. So I'm super excited for you.
Yes.
And just excited to get this recipe going.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So like we said, this is a Incredible Hulk muffin.
That's it.
With fresh spinach. We've got bananas. Let's talk about the flour. Okay, so we're going to get into it. We're going to make this recipe, guys. Katie and Tom made the recipe. They sent it to me. I looked it over. I think I only made 2 little tweaks. One of them was to add more protein.
Yep.
So I actually ended up having a full half a cup of the protein. And then the other was you had the line item of gluten-free flour and then almond flour. And I wasn't sure what gluten-free flour you typically use. So why don't you tell us what you guys use?
So we were doing a mix of gluten-free flour from Bob's Red Mill.
Okay.
And mixing it with the almond flour, because if we just do one or the other, like I said, it didn't come out.
Do you know what the base was for it? What the flour was made out of?
I do not.
No. Maybe Katie can tell us in the comments.
Yes.
So what I did was I just ground up gluten-free oats.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so then you've got those complex carbs in
Love
here.
it.
You usually, I mean, most of you have oats at home. If you do have a gluten-free flour blend, like Tom's speaking of, and we'll get the ingredients for you as to what goes into that.
Yep.
Potentially there were oats in that.
I would think so, yes. Yeah.
There's not too many things that they can make the flour out of.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what we have going on here, guys. Okay, so first step, you are going to have a food processor out.
Yep.
And we are going to pulse our spinach. So we have, how much is this? This is 2 cups of baby spinach that we're going to put into these muffins. So what was it like the first time you gave these muffins to Bennett? What was his reaction?
He absolutely loved them, to be honest. Yeah, he absolutely loved them. And, you know, just talking about as far as feeding the kids, right? Like you mentioned before, and I'm interested to hear you kind of share a little more about that. But, you know, when it comes to meal prep, we meal prep for Bennett just like we do for ourselves.
A 1-year-old, guys.
Right.
A 1-year-old.
And we also get the question at boot camp sometimes as far as the protein, like, is it safe for children? Yes.
The protein powder?
Absolutely, 100%, right?
Yeah.
I even let them take little sips of my my protein shake. So it's, you know, it's totally healthy, totally okay to give this to your kids. And, you know, sometimes you have to, he's too young to be tricked, but as they get older, right, maybe not tell people what's in there and let them make their own decision, not have those preconceived notions that's going to taste different.
Aren't we kind of tricking them? I mean, we're giving him a baked good.
Absolutely.
And he's eating fresh spinach and bananas and chia seeds. So a lot of feeding your kids healthy food, it is kind of, you're slipping it in, guys.
Right.
You don't have to be like, hey, son, this is healthy.
Correct.
This is going to make you, you know, strong. And my little boys want to be strong.
Of course.
But, you know, it's just in there.
Right. And
they don't have to know.
And same thing when your friends or family come over for, let's say, a holiday or something that you're making a non-traditional, you know, healthier version of one of Diana's recipes. Don't tell them what's in there. Let them experience it for themselves, and I promise you they probably won't know the difference.
Well, I have a lot of women. So over the years, you know, I've blogged and written some books. I have a lot of women that reach out to me and they say, my husband is a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Right.
They got that label, and they're like, I've been making your recipes, and he doesn't know.
I know.
So guys, it's okay to do that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna pulse the spinach first, just a little bit to get it broken down. And Tom, you can kind of guide me as well as far as, I don't know how much you grind it up, or if you have little pieces.
Little pieces okay, but as we
fine.
continue to grind it in there, it'll mix in well as we put the banana and the other ingredients in there. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay, guys, so this was 2 cups of fresh spinach. And now we're going to add in, this is a 3/4 cup of almond milk. Oh, that was the other thing. I think you said you had a few other options for milk. I just used unsweetened almond milk.
Unsweetened almond milk is fine. Coconut milk is just fine.
Just fine.
Yeah, that's what we stick to at our house is the almond and the coconut milk. Stay away from dairy for the most part, and it tastes amazing, especially in your protein shakes. I like to drink mine with water for the most part when it comes to making the shakes, but if you need a little something different, then the almond milk is a great replacement.
It makes it a little creamier.
A little bit.
I will do like the unsweetened almond milk in my shakes sometimes if I want to feel like I'm having a milkshake.
Yes. Yeah. A little bit of ice. And the longer you blend those protein shakes, the thicker it's going to be, the more satisfying it might be. It might last you a little bit longer.
The more milkshakey,
so we put
guys.
these right in here? Yeah.
Yes. So we're throwing our almond milk and our banana into the food processor with the spinach. And we're just going to blend this up. Probably Bennett's a little too young, but as the kids get older, one of the most successful ways that I have gotten my kids interested in the healthy food is having them help me make it.
Oh, 100%.
So that's something, even if it's like, hey, peel the banana, throw it in, if they can have a hand in making it, then they're interested and they've taken ownership and they're on board.
Yes, and I would say, speaking for our members, a lot of folks that maybe come on, we give them a meal plan, sometimes the biggest hurdle is just not cooking. Right? Not knowing how to do it, not knowing where to start.
Yeah.
But the thing is, just start small and start with things that you can control, follow recipes and follow along with them. My belief is, the reason I love cooking so much is it's a creative outlet, to be honest, like inventing recipes, putting your own tweak on things. It's so much fun.
So much fun.
And there's nothing better than cooking a meal for somebody. You just enjoy it so much more. Your time and attention is into it. It's just so much more rewarding than picking something
It
up.
really is, guys. You're putting love into it, and that's like super cheesy, but
It's
the
true.
day before Valentine's Day, and really, especially as parents, like we're nurturing our kids, but we're doing that with their nutrition as well. And you can't really infuse that love and that nurture in when you're just going to pick them up something from the drive-thru.
Absolutely, and teaching those habits at an early age that time spent in the kitchen and together is important.
Yeah,
it's important to make your own meals. Yes,
super fun. Okay, so we're going to finish up our wet ingredients here. So we have an egg, which has lots of protein and healthy fat in there.
Absolutely.
And then we're going to do some flavoring. So guys, have fun with it. I always say, put your own spin.
Yes.
I love the flavoring that Tom and Katie have. So they did a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract, and this is totally optional.
Absolutely.
I love putting almond extract in my baked goods because I think it just adds a nice little flavor.
It does, and if I could give one more tip on extracts, especially a little maple extract.
Oh.
A little bit in your coffee.
Okay.
If you're trying to get off of sweets, off of sugar, off of
Yum.
cream, try a little bit of that. And then cinnamon is just
Love cinnamon.
one of the best.
We're putting cinnamon in the muffins
Yes,
as well.
and going back to the protein shakes, if you're thinking of really easy, so put a little almond milk, some ice, your protein powder, a little bit of one of your extracts, and a little bit of cinnamon.
Sprinkle of cinnamon.
It will just change everything. So good.
And on the topic of coffee, so I've told my viewers a bunch of times, but liquid stevia. So I was that person that put not only creamer and sugar, but I would get the sugary creamer from the store that has the hazelnut, and it's got, oh my gosh, the ingredient list is that big, and it's frightening. But you get hooked on it and you get used to it, and your palate is like, I need something sweet and caffeinated. But now I get my coffee, it's black, and then I put a little bit of the liquid stevia. But that, like Tom said, add a little bit of the extract or a little bit of cinnamon, and you're getting everything that you would get in one of these really sugary drinks.
Yeah, so what we were chatting about earlier is how, just because they sell food at this food store doesn't mean that it's something we should maybe be eating, right? So there's always an easy, healthy alternative, right? Those creamers, most people, we're not going to look at the ingredient label, but what are you actually putting in your body? And again, just always think when you're making recipes or eating food, if you had every one of those ingredients individually, would you consume them? Probably not if we're working with processed foods.
And I mean, how do you even visualize all of the ingredients in processed foods? You can't pronounce them.
You don't even know what they are.
So if you don't know what it is,
or what they look like,
please don't eat it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, guys, we are also going to put a half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in there, and then a little bit of coconut oil. So guys, I have melted down 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. And I think that is all of
the reason for the apple cider vinegar is that it actually helps activate the flour and make it a little more, used to what you're seeing in a baked good. Yeah.
Which, guys, you can see these muffins are nice and fluffy, which is not always the case with healthy, vegetable and fruit-laden gluten-free muffins.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. All right, so we're just going to blend these up. And again, if there's some chunks of or little pieces of spinach and banana, that's totally fine. I've got a few. I actually think it's kind of fun when you hit like a piece of banana. Yeah. Okay, guys, so now we are going to work on the powdered part. So I'm going to let you mix it, and I will start throwing things in there.
Sounds good.
Okay, so the first ingredient was 1 full cup of blanched almond flour. And guys, you don't have to do blanched. You could do almond meal. You could grind your own almonds up. Or some people don't like almonds. Grind up some walnuts, grind up some pecans. Like you can do anything you want as far as making a nut flour.
Yeah, and as far as that's concerned, because we get questions, what's the difference? It's literally ground up almonds.
That's it.
That's it,
that's
right?
All
the
that's
flour part of it is just, the consistency of it that's going to, instead of those unbleached, flours and things like that, is going to be a lot more nutritional for you and a lot better for you. Yes.
Way better for you.
Way better for you.
But there's fat in it.
Yep.
There's healthy carbs.
Yes.
So yeah, there's good stuff in there.
Yes.
Okay, so this was the second cup of flour was where we had the gluten-free flour mix, which did we get any comments on that?
Yes, we did.
Okay, what do we get?
Katie chimed in and she said they use Bob's Red Mills, and its base is garbanzo beans.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That's cool. I've used that flour before.
Yep.
So, okay, the consistency will be a little bit different with the oats. Let's see if you like it.
Yeah.
So guys, that's an option. And then this is just ground up gluten-free oats, which I did in here earlier.
Yes.
Okay,
Magic
so
of TV.
Yes. 1 cup of each. There.
And I would actually say, Di, that if you, from a expense perspective, go with the oats over the gluten-free flour. It can be a little bit pricey for what you're going to get. So this is a great option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And guys, even the almond flour. Like almond flour can be pricey, but grind it yourself.
Yeah.
Just buy some raw almonds and grind it yourself.
Perfect.
Yeah, you don't have to get the blanched ones again, because really it's just the little skin on there. It's more fiber.
That's it.
More fiber, more color.
Yep.
More vitamins. Okay, so we have 2 cups of the gluten-free oats and flours, and now we have half a cup of the Truline frosted vanilla cake whey protein,
which is by far 100%
so
the
good.
best protein for cooking that we've ever used in my house. I've been in the fitness game for a long time. I've tried a lot of supplements. This is hands down. We're so passionate about this supplement line from Truline because it is exactly what it's supposed to be. Tastes great. We know exactly what's in there. We had a hand in the formulation of it, which was really exciting. And it tastes great in all of your recipes.
And if we did this, and if we put all of the pieces, all the ingredients that go into this protein, which I've done because I've been there at the lab, it's all stuff that you would put in your body.
Yes.
There's nothing hidden. There's no fillers. There's nothing artificial, guys, which is hard to find.
It's very hard to find. And the reason that a lot of other are going to have a lot more ingredients is they're looking for, to thicken it up, to make it taste, to make it sweeter. But we were able to do that and still be really healthy for you.
It was hard to do, but we did it, guys. We did it.
Yes.
And I always forget to tell you, but it's fbbcapproved.com. That's where you pick it up.
Absolutely, yes.
Or use the hashtag IamFitBody, and maybe I will send you one next week.
There we go.
So, okay, so we've got that going, and then we have a tablespoon of chia seeds, which there was a reason you put chia seeds in this recipe.
Absolutely. So it's going to add some nice healthy fat. But when we normally make baked goods, what kind of fats are we going to be putting in there?
Just like trans fats or
something. It's going to be like a
butter
butter or something like this. So this gives you some fats in there, but with a much healthier.
The healthy fats that Bennett needs as his brain is developing.
We want that brain to get nice and big.
Yeah.
And we were chatting about that before as well. For the parents out there, the reason I sent this in and wanted to come on the cooking show, yes, I'm a new parent, but it breaks my heart when we see parents feeding children, processed foods and things like that. And typically, because, and I'm not getting on a high horse here, it's about education. You just don't usually know, right? I know when I was coming up, food was it was whatever we bought at the store, chicken nuggets and everything else. But just think about that. The food at the store, that doesn't mean it's food you have to buy.
Right.
And when they're so young, those first 5 years are so important to brain development. And we're talking about behavioral change as they get older, and ADHD and everything else that comes along that. A lot of that is tied to nutrition. And while their brain is growing, the first 3 years, you learn more and change more than ever in your entire life.
Yep.
So really important that we're focusing on that, teaching early healthy habits. I listen to this great podcast where the fellow says, what you eat matters to your gray matter, meaning your brain.
Ooh, I like that.
And even as adults,
yeah.
if we're moody, take a look at your nutrition.
Right.
We can usually...
Are you hydrated?
Yes.
Are you like, yeah.
And then for their little, we're talking about the kids now, for their little systems, putting on this sugar roller coaster, right? Where maybe it's, Pop-Tarts or pancakes or something high sugar for breakfast, and immediately, spiking that blood sugar level, insulin release, the whole nine, and then they're crashing from it and then eating again. We get on this vicious cycle where down the road, that's going to lead to diabetes and obesity and the things that a lot of us suffer from as adults. Yep.
And as parents, we understand that you're not, like, no one's trying to give their kids something that they shouldn't have. Some of it is education, but another big piece of it, guys, is just convenience.
Absolutely.
Because, the kids need to eat all the time. You got to get them to school or preschool, and there's a lot of pressures on us as parents. So that's why it's so key to just have some certain things, put that structure in, right? If maybe it's on Sundays,
Sunday's the best
you make a couple batches of these, and then all week, guess what? You've got a muffin, you're going to grab it from the fridge. Time to go to school. Here you go, kids. And so it's just building that in, because guys, we understand why Pop-Tarts sell. It's convenience. Yes, it tastes good and all of that, but it's convenience.
The question that I ask for at our orientations and things at the gym, and I'll ask you this question. Let me ask you: anybody here busier than you ever thought you would be in your life? Every hand goes up, right? We're all super busy.
So busy.
But that structure, on a Sunday, and it doesn't take a long amount of time. And once you get in the habit, it's fantastic. And you really should be making the same foods for yourself that you're making for your children, so that we're all staying nice and healthy and happy.
100%.
Yes.
And just to piggyback off of what Tom was saying with how there's so much development in the first 5 years, there's also palate development.
Absolutely.
Guys, because, people who are trying to start teaching their kids healthy eating when they're, 10, 12, it's harder because their palates haven't really become accustomed to the fresh spinach and to some of these different flavors. But when you get it in there, whatever way you need to, if you're sneaking it in muffins or whatever, you get these healthy foods in them when they're young, they just like it. They're used to it.
Yeah.
And it's really giving them an advantage.
Yeah. For everyone that's watching, let's say you maybe haven't been drinking soda, or you went for a break since you started with Fit Body Bootcamp. Comment below if at some point, you went a month, 2 months without it, and then you took a sip of a soda, and how different, how much sweeter it tasted to you.
So bad.
So we're not immune to that as adults, right? It takes time
true.
to change that, right? So if you've ever experienced that, post it down below. If you switch to something like Everyday Fit or something to replace it, put it down below and let other folks know what you've been sipping on.
Fit. Good reminder. Stay hydrated.
There you go. Absolutely.
All right, getting back into this recipe. So the only thing that is left to put in here, we have baking soda and baking powder, a teaspoon of each. We have half a teaspoon of sea salt, and then we have 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon.
Yes.
So we got some good flavor going in there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Nice and easy.
Yes, and then we are going to really, if I can figure this thing out, guys. Oh, I did it.
Woo!
This is amazing. You never know. Okay, we've actually got some pretty big pieces of banana. Someone is going to have a surprise in their muffin. Banana stuffed muffins.
There's some fellows in the other room that wouldn't mind.
Oh, good. Yes, we already have people who have claimed all these muffins. They're not even made yet, but people want them.
We sure did.
Okay, so one thing that I did a little bit different from your recipe, and maybe this is something you guys will do, but you guys know I'm the recipe hacker, and my whole goal is to make a healthy muffin taste just like an unhealthy one. And so there are little tricks that we can do to do that. So what we're gonna do is when we fill these muffin tins with the batter, I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit of coconut sugar over the top, and then I'm gonna crack a little bit of salt. And so what that does, it actually almost caramelizes over the top. It's not enough, and guys, this is wholesome, coconut sugar. This isn't refined.
Yep.
So this is, especially for children, like this is totally fine to include in here. And you may have noticed we didn't add any sweetener other than the protein, which has stevia and monk fruit, and the banana is the only sweetener. So we can get away with sprinkling a little bit of this over the top.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you want to scoop into the things? I brought you options.
Look at you.
I don't know what you like to do at home.
Great.
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
And on the coconut sugar, life changer. When it cooks up and has that little bit of maple, syrupy kind of taste, absolutely delicious.
You're a maple guy.
Yeah, I guess I am.
He's a maple guy.
Yes.
You part Canadian.
Maybe. Good. So we're good to go scoop these in?
You want me to move this here for you? Okay, so as he does that, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the coconut sugar and crack a little bit of salt because, guys, you know salt is just going to enhance the flavor. It's going to enhance the sweetness, and it's going to make us want to go back and have another one.
Absolutely.
Right?
Which in this case is not a bad thing.
It is not a bad thing, and we really want, you know, guys, you put out all this effort to make something healthy for your kids. Like, you better believe that they need to like it.
Absolutely.
Right? There's nothing worse than putting a whole bunch of effort out, and then the kids are like, yeah, no, I don't like it, Mom.
Yep.
So it's like, that's why we've done the work to find recipes, perfect them for you, so you know it's going to turn out, and then give you little tips like, hey, put a little more salt on it, put a little bit of coconut sugar. You know, let's make it really appealing and tasty.
And again, that's the beauty of cooking. You know, make it your own.
Yeah.
Grab those recipes, and you know, at first, if you're new to cooking, just grab something that is easy to make, and so you make it, you know, for a few weeks until you can make it without the recipe. And then what happens after that is just start to experiment a little bit. You know, add a little bit, take something out, add a little something else in, and that goes for all types of cooking, whether we're making chicken or we're making a baked good like we have it going on here with these muffins.
So I told you earlier, but I don't know if the audience knows, but I actually started cooking when my son was about Bennett's age. He's about 1.5 years old. And this was back in 2006, and a statistic came out that said that our kids have a shorter life expectancy than we do. And a lot of that had to do with the way their diets are so much different, and there's just so much more sugar and processed foods.
That's a very sad statistic.
It was terrifying.
Sounds like it shook you up a little bit when you first read it.
I was terrified to the point where I was like, I'm going to not only learn how to cook, I'm also going to study nutrition. And like, at the time, I had stacks of nutrition books and stacks of cookbooks, and I did the work to figure out how to hack some recipes. And actually, guys, I would like to give away a few of my books here. So if you're watching and you don't have one of my 2 books, so I have The Recipe Hacker, and these are like my original, like my first, you know, 5 years blogging. These were the best recipes that I came up with. There's like chicken nuggets and there's pasta, and it's all, of course, using wholesome ingredients.
Absolutely.
That the kids loved, because everything I make, my kids taste it. If they don't like it, then I don't post it anywhere, because they're the best critics.
Absolutely.
And they're so
They'll be
honest.
very honest, yes.
They're so honest.
Yes.
And when they're little, they'll just spit it out.
Right.
So it's like, okay, this wasn't good. And then there's the Recipe Hacker Confidential. So guys, comment if you would like a book sent to you. We'll send out a few of those.
Yes. This book is on my shelf.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
Do you have this one?
I do not. But I will tell you, mine doesn't look quite this pristine. We actually have some white marks over here because we use it so much.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to send you home with one of these.
Sounds great.
Because there's a lot of different recipes in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to top these off. And guys, like Tom said, just make the recipe your own. Have fun with it. You know, maybe a sprinkle of cinnamon on top would make it your own.
Yeah.
But really, you know, we find for people who are new to cooking, the more you just get in there and try it.
Yes.
And maybe something doesn't turn out, but then maybe the next thing turns out better.
Yeah.
You're always learning.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Don't get paralyzed by you know, ingredients that you're not used to, or am I following exactly as it's laid out? It's okay. It's meant to be. Somebody at some point invented every recipe that you see. So they were just throwing stuff together and seeing what came out, right?
You guys should see how many recipes were complete flops in my kitchen. Like, ask Bedros.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so this is our muffin recipe. It's going to go in the oven at 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes.
Yep.
You want it to be cooked all the way through. You can stick a toothpick in if you'd like to make sure it comes out clean. And guys, make the recipe. Let us know,
please,
how you liked it, what your kids' reaction was.
Yes.
You know, post this week with the hashtag #IamFitBody.
Yes.
So we can give you more stuff.
We'd love it.
Now, Tom, you really enticed me when you said you have a healthy cookie dough recipe.
Special edition of the cooking show today.
Yes.
You're not getting one, but two
recipes.
And again, shout out to my awesome wife, Miss Katie, for coming up with this one. So easy, so fast, and with Valentine's Day being tomorrow, which for some of us can be a trigger for chocolates and candies and everything else, even especially in the workplace. Just keep an eye on that because it can easily add up to quite a few extra calories and a lot of sugar throughout the day. So we wanted to give you a really easy, simple, literally 30-second recipe that you can enjoy every night. So I've actually been eating this a lot lately. I've had a lot in the past, but this actually fits my macros.
Nice.
On the New Year, New You challenge, and I have it at night after dinner as a little snack.
Do you have a sweet tooth?
Not too bad, but this will fix your sweet tooth.
Because it's like after dinner, it's like you're sitting there, it's like, yeah, I want something, right, guys? And that's when you're the most vulnerable to get off of your meal plan. And this is another reason, Tom said there's no reason to make your kids something different than you. Well, there's no reason to keep foods in the house that aren't on your meal plan.
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you, some nights where it's after dinner, if there was ice cream in the freezer, do you know what I would be eating?
That would be ice cream.
I would be eating ice cream.
Yes.
But guess what? Tonight, my sweet tooth acts up. I don't have the option to eat ice cream.
Yep.
I do have the option to make this.
And we're giving you lots of tips today, but another tip, team, in most cities, you're going to be able to have some grocery delivery services.
True. Yeah.
Katie and I have been using that.
Instacart.
Instacart for the win is what we say at Fit Body Boot Camp. If you want to save time on the weekends, not have to be tempted when you go into the store, find a company like Instacart where someone will go shopping for you. You're giving someone a job, which is awesome, and you are not tempted. It saves your cart, so you can order the same stuff every week. It is an absolute.
It's a life changer.
I used to spend, quick story, we run the gym, right? On Saturdays would be a long-ish day for us. We have our morning sessions, and we usually have an orientation for our members. And then after that, Katie and I would actually go to two separate stores. Okay. We'd go to one store that we liked.
Just to get everything you needed?
Yep, we'd go to one store that we liked for kind of your everyday stuff, and then we'd go to another store for our produce, because they have really nice produce. It was organic and things like that. So by the time we went at the gym, to one store, to another, get home, unpack it all, we were...
And then you're not going to have the energy or time to meal prep it
Correct.
from there.
We found Instacart, and we have never turned back.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. And then it shows up to your door. And again, the temptation isn't there. And for those of you on the challenge or just in your life, honestly, we should be eating pretty much the same type of foods every single week. Because again, this isn't going to stop when the challenge is over.
There's that structure. There's those bumpers, guys.
That's it. Absolutely.
Just fill that cart and just reorder.
Okay, you probably don't need to take notes on this one because it's quick, it's simple, it's easy. So what we have here is a natural peanut butter. Almost every brand makes natural peanut butter. The difference being it's not going to be filled with oils and sugar. And you should just have one that should just be peanuts or possibly peanuts and salt. That's all you need. Talking about kind of changing your palate, I'll be honest. First time I started eating natural peanut butter, I was like, well, this is a little not quite there, but now I love it.
Yes.
Right now, if I ate a Skippy or Jif or whatever, it would probably not taste quite as good.
So this weekend, I actually made peanut butter from scratch, and I added our favorite Truling protein.
Ooh.
So it's a protein peanut butter. Ty, can you post the link? It's one of the first recipes on realhealthyrecipes.com. So you could actually make your own peanut butter with the protein in it and then use that here.
Wow. Mind blown. So 1 to 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. I think we have 2 tablespoons on the recipe here today. So just depending on how much you're looking for. Now keep in mind, for those of you in the challenge, you should have saw a post in your groups yesterday or the day before about eyeballing versus measuring. We had a picture of 2 spoons.
Such an eyeballer.
Yeah, we had 2 spoons of peanut butter. One was a tablespoon, the one was a little more, and it was, your 90 calories versus, a little bit. Yeah, yes, right?
That's what I do.
So 2 tablespoons of our peanut butter here. 1 or 2, just depending on, again, what you're looking to do.
And it would almost cut the calories in half if you did 1 versus 2.
Correct.
And the nutrition on the site, I think it was a little over 300 calories. That's for the 2 scoops.
Yep. But I will tell you, 1 will go plenty far. I was doing 2 for a while, but now that I'm on the challenge, I am doing 1.
Here we go.
So it works. It works out just
Maybe
fine.
for Valentine's Day they can do 2.
Because
it's like
treat for
you. We're saying no to all this really sugary stuff. You can have this.
Yes. Now what we're going to add into this is a little bit of almond milk. Okay. Now it's going to be up to you how much to add. I'd like to start off with just a little bit because what this is going to do is really create the consistency afterwards, depending how much liquid we add into it. If you want it to be really crumbly, really cookie doughy, then not as much milk. If you want a little more more of a pudding than a little more milk. So I just add a little bit in here.
I like creamy
cookie
dough.
And then you can always add more later as
Yeah.
well. So I would just put a little bit in, and then really simple, microwave. 30 seconds. What this is going to do is just really melt your peanut butter a little bit. Not going to heat it up too much. And then
At this stage, it would be a little bit tough to mix.
Correct.
Right?
It'll just be more
too
mixable
sticky.
for you. Break down that oil a little bit that's in the peanut butter.
Have you done this with almond butter?
I have.
You have? How did it turn out?
Fantastic.
Okay,
The
there we
almond
go.
butter typically, in my experience, seems to have a little more oil in it.
Okay.
So it melts a little bit more in the cup. But
Get
yeah,
a little different flavor.
Little
Maybe add
different
a little
flavor.
cinnamon in there.
there- look at this.
We're making recipes,
Just
guys.
experiment with it, right? Whatever you want to be in it. And same thing, Katie actually has some different variations of it. I'm showing you the most basic one, but there's lots of recipes out there. Some you're going to add a little bit of, this is funny, maple syrup.
Oh, he likes maple, guys. Do you have maple extract, right? That would be good.
That would be good.
Extract, so you're not adding any sugar.
Yeah. So you just give it a little stir. So if you're looking from above there, the peanut butter just mixes right into the milk.
Nice.
And now watch,
Smells
this is
good too.
this is where it gets complicated. It's a really hard recipe.
That's
We're going to
one
add
scoop.
this is 1 scoop of
That's one
protein. That's
scoop.
perfect.
Yeah.
So start off with maybe about 1/2 to 3/4 of a scoop. Again, it's going to depend on your consistency, what you like, but we're just going to mix it right on up. Oh, and it starts to come together really
That's
nice.
the way I like it. It looks nice and creamy on the side.
Okay, perfect. And then would be up to you if you want to add in a little bit more milk, a little bit more protein.
Guys, it's so cool we have recipes like this.
Simple.
Like about 10 years ago, B and I both have sweet tooths. I would make us actual cookie dough, like white flour, butter, sugar, and we would eat actual cookie dough like
Right.
this. But look what we can do now. We can be so healthy and
So
use
easy.
protein and peanut butter.
And
And it gives you the same enjoyment.
And I would like to actually, maybe we can set up some sort of blind taste test. We'll go out to the grocery store today,
Yeah.
sit out front, have some cookie dough and have this and see what folks like better.
Yeah.
Simple. So, like I said, there's some with maple syrup, maybe a little bit of salt in there if you want to kind of bring out that sweetness a little bit.
Always add salt. That is a great idea.
There you go.
There we go.
And then what we have here are our stevia,
Lily's, yeah.
Lily's chocolate chips.
Guys, these are a game changer.
Yes.
If you haven't used them, because really you're getting all of the good flavor and the benefit of the chocolate, but there's no sugar because
Yes.
we're using stevia.
Yes, and dark chocolate. I'm a dark chocolate guy. So many more benefits health-wise than milk chocolate. So try to get dark chocolate when you can, and then it's up to you how much we add on in here. But that's just a nice little treat on top. Perfect treat
Look at
for
that.
Valentine's
I love
Day.
it.
Pro tip: if you wait just a little bit for the peanut butter to cool down,
Don't burn your tongue, guys.
no, the chocolate chips won't melt as much. So it just depends. Are you looking
Got
for a
it.
little crunch from the chips?
Swirl it in.
Or do you
like
want them swirled in?
Chocolate swirled. That's how I would probably
The
do it.
world is yours.
That's awesome. I want to give one more little recipe because it is Valentine's
Yes.
Day tomorrow, but really using pretty much the same ingredients here. So my Valentine loves peanut butter and chocolate. And so I used to know what to get him for Valentine's. It's like, okay, go get him a Reese's peanut butter cup, right? Guys, it is so easy to make healthy Reese's peanut butter cups or just peanut butter cups. You get the Lily's Stevia sweetened chocolate. And something that I've done, if you can't find it, or this is a pricier item.
Yep.
If you get unsweetened chocolate,
Yep.
and then you can melt it down and add in your own liquid stevia,
Stevia.
is totally fine when you're not using it in chip form.
Going back to from
Right?
before, if you looked at the ingredients, what's
Yeah.
in there, so why not?
Yeah.
I'm sure on the back of that bag it says
That's it.
milk chocolate, stevia.
Stevia. You can put them together,
you
right?
go.
So guys, melt down some stevia sweetened chocolate, and then you're gonna get the little mini cupcake liners, the little ones. You're gonna put a little bit of the chocolate on the bottom, put it in the freezer for a few minutes. It's gonna get nice and hard. Maybe put a little bit of coconut oil in the chocolate when you melt it down. And then put a little scoop of the natural peanut butter and then cover it up with more of the melted stevia sweetened chocolate. Stick it back in the freezer, and then you'll just really make your sweetie happy.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
Absolutely.
tonight.
And last point on that is love. It's in the air.
Yeah.
If we care for
Right.
our husbands, our wives, our girlfriends, our boyfriends, everybody, why not enjoy a healthy treat together? They're not going to regret tomorrow or not, feel bad about
Right.
doing it and embark on this journey together, which is why we have this group, because there's so much power in the group. That's why Fit Body Bootcamp is so successful when it comes to our results. That's why this group has been so fantastic, because of all of you sharing your wins and your NSVs. We love, love, love it. So keep up the great work. Stay engaged here in the group and share the love.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. Thank you so much for being with us, guys. I hope you took something away from this, whatever it might be, that you can take back to your kitchen, to your family and your kids, and just share the love, like Tom said, share the good nutrition, and really get that infinite game of fitness solidified, the structure for that in your life. Use the hashtag all week, #IamFitBody, and guys, just stick with it. I will see you same time, same place next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care.